All right, guys, Wes here. Welcome back to the channel. And as you guys know, Spider-Man 2 is right around the corner. And now that we have the confirmed release date of October 20th and the pre-orders have gone live, the hype train has been chugging right along. And today we have some important updates for Spider-Man 2, as well as some pretty big news that you guys don't want to miss. So we're going to go over that because over the last few days, we had some news come out that should get you pretty excited. Now, as you guys probably saw not too long ago, Spider-Man 2's Collector's Edition looks absolutely insane, thanks to the Steelbook as well as the statue of Venom fighting the two Spider-Man. Now, the Collector's Edition has a price tag of roughly $230, but it is selling extremely quickly. And sadly, if you don't have one available in your market and it's not currently available on PlayStation Direct for you, you will likely have to pay a lot more than market value. Now, currently, if you want a Spider-Man 2 Collector's Edition, the only way to do that right now is by going to PlayStation Direct and placing an order. Some regions allow Amazon, but for the US and other North American regions, it is currently exclusive to PlayStation Direct. Now, this has upset a lot of fans, and the current eBay listings are only getting people even more upset. I've seen these things go for over $600 on eBay, and so far, the most expensive screenshot I've seen for the Collector's Edition is $650, which is absolutely nutty. Naturally, this has fans super frustrated at the prospect of having to pay triple for the Spider-Man 2's Collector's Edition simply because they weren't able to get it in their market. So if you're looking to get the Collector's Edition of Spider-Man 2, I recommend checking out the PlayStation Direct website because as of recording this video, there is still some stock left. Now, speaking of pre-orders, something was confirmed about the bonus material that's also causing some frustration within the community. Now, as you probably know, there are a bunch of bonus skins coming out as a part of the Digital Deluxe Edition and various other versions of the game. And up until this point, for people that didn't pre-order the previous game and didn't pay extra for Spider-Man 2, they thought that they might have to simply just do some extra challenges to get those bonus suits. But it has been confirmed that all of the bonus suits being sold as a part of the Collector's Edition and Digital Deluxe will not be a part of the base game, meaning if you just buy the standard edition of the game after launch day, you will never get those suits unless of course you upgrade to the Digital Deluxe, which I can understand is pretty frustrating. Hopefully those won't be attached to like the 100% runs. I doubt they will be, so it's not really much of an issue. But either way, if you're looking to get every single suit from Spider-Man 2, you either have to buy the Deluxe Edition or just kind of get over the fact that you're not going to get every single suit the game has to offer. Next up, we got some news from the ESRB. We got a rating for the game as they recently published and released their official rating for Spider-Man 2, which is T for teen due to blood, drug references, mild language, and violence. Now, some fans were worried about the fact that the ESRB rating does include in-game purchases, which you know what happens at that point. People immediately took it as a reason to worry about microtransactions in a single-player game, but I'm here to tell you that that is not what you think. The in-game purchases reference is in regards to the upgrade to a Digital Deluxe version after you buy the game, which can be done in-game and therefore has to be included in the ESRB rating. Insomniac Games, James Stevenson, the community director, confirmed that. So I guess if you buy the standard edition of the game and then later on want a bonus suit, or rather suits that only come with the Digital Deluxe version of the game, you'll be able to upgrade your copy of the game to a version that includes them without having to go to the PlayStation Store to do it. So if you're concerned that the game is going to have time savers and other crazy microtransactions, I would not worry about that at all. Sony and Insomniac both know that they would get way too much heat for ever doing that in a game like Spider-Man 2, especially when the first game and Miles Morales had none of the sort. Next up, we have some new comments from Insomniac's creative director, Brian Inatar, who recently answered some questions in an interview with Marvel.com, and we learned quite a bit of new information about the game. Now, when asked about when he had his first thoughts for the game, Brian Inatar gave a very interesting answer. He said, "I think in a way you always kind of are thinking about how things can go. Before, when I used to work in the full-time at the office, I would have a lot. I live in California, so I have a long drive home and traffic, and you think about that like, okay, we're working on Spider-Man 1. If we were to continue making these games, where can we go next?" So you kind of go into that almost fanboy-like kind of thing. He said, and obviously the game ended with a scene that kind of paved the way for what we were thinking about with the tease of the symbiote. So we kind of knew before we finished Spider-Man 1 what the overall direction would be for Spider-Man 2. Brian then continued by saying, "We worked on some DLC with The City Never Sleeps, and then as that was going on, they considered what are those big story points that we want to get into, as well as what characters they want to feature and how they could bring it all together in one cohesive story." Brian Inatar then talked about the studio's opinion on the iconic black Spider-Man suit, and he essentially said that he thought back to how it was whenever he played action figures and kind of took things back to the basics and basically asked himself the question, what do I want to see happen? Obviously you think about character arcs and themes, but you kind of just go back to how it was whenever you were a kid playing with action figures to set up the scenario. He then later reconfirmed what they said back in Spider-Man 1, that if they plan on doing the black Spider-Man suit, then they want it to be a major part of the story, which is exactly exactly what we are getting with Spider-Man 2. Now, the creative director was also very excited for us to see the wingsuit in action, and he also added that using the wingsuit while wearing a costume that has a cape looks especially awesome, and is excited to see what the community will do with the photo mode, which makes sense given the fact that Insomniac loves showing off community photos, and it's an awesome way to see the game in action, but it's also just free marketing. That's why I love photo modes in games. I want all games to have photo mode. He also once again confirmed that there will be character specific missions in Spider-Man 2, meaning you will get plenty of required playtime with both Peter as well as Miles, especially if you're going for 100% completion. The main story, however, will feature each Spider-Man at predetermined times, which I think makes total sense. So the game will bump you between Peter and Miles for the main story, but allowing you to free roam with whatever character you decide. When you feel like jumping perspectives, it seems all you have to do is hit a button and you'll automatically jump between the other Spider-Man, regardless of where on the map they currently are, and the loading times between them will be near instantaneous. There will also be 3 separate skill trees in the game, one for Peter, one for Miles, and a third one that's shared. So there's also going to be a lot to do and lot to level up between the main missions. Next up, let's talk about some new information regarding confirmed locations. So the gameplay demo that we got seemed to confirm a ton of new locations to the open world, including Queens and Brooklyn. However, the PlayStation Store page, the official one on PlayStation Network, seemed to accidentally confirm another location, Coney Island. The game's description has a brief blurb about the locations that reads this: stunning visuals, explore beautifully vibrant new environments and locations, including Brooklyn, Queens, Coney Island, and more. So it seems that Coney Island will be an official location in Spider-Man 2, and I'm sure that that will give Insomniac tons of fun ideas for side quests, NPCs, and hidden secrets. Now, over the last few days, there's been a lot of discussion regarding Spider-Man 2 having a demo. Now, if you guys didn't know, over the last few years, it seems like demos have been making a comeback, and I'm 100% for it. The Final Fantasy 16 demo was insane, and it converted me. I pre-ordered the game, I'm playing it right now. But when somebody asked Insomniac Games regarding a demo for Spider-Man 2, it was confirmed that there is no plans to release a demo for Spider-Man 2 prior to its launch, which I think is a tad bit disappointing, but I am not really surprised at all. There are some people that are a bit disappointed. So even though demos are getting more popular, Spider-Man 2 is a game that really doesn't need to convince people to buy it, and Sony/PlayStation and Insomniac Games know it. Demos also aren't like an industry standard, so it's not like there was any expectation for it. I think Final Fantasy 16 really benefited for it because of the fact that it was such a change of pace from what people are used to with Final Fantasy, and like I said, it gave me a reason to buy the game. But since Spider-Man 2 is such an iconic character that even the most random normie people know about Spider-Man, as well as what a game would look like with him in it, there was really no reason to have a demo. Not to mention, it would have to be a very limited demo, and I'd rather have Insomniac work on the game itself, getting the game ready for launch, rather than release a demo, even if they're going to get some marketing brownie points. The next thing that I'd like to talk about is new gameplay that we got during the movie Across the Spider-Verse. So PlayStation tweeted out a clip that showcased Spider-Man 2 gameplay in the background, but in the actual movie, the gameplay was different. The gameplay that I saw in the theaters showed Peter Parker utilizing the Iron Spider suit that we saw from the other marketing materials for Spider-Man 2. So I'm not really sure why they would change the gameplay. Maybe this was 2 sections and I just missed it. But either way, it looks really cool. I'd love to be right next to Genki playing this game with him. But until then, we're just gonna have to wait until October 20th. Now, this does raise an important question. Is the Iron Spider suit gonna be something that you can only access whenever you're wearing that specific suit, or are we gonna have access to it basically at any time? And furthermore, is there gonna be different skill trees that we get for the Iron Spider suit, or is it gonna be a part of Peter's? Is it gonna be the one in the middle that both Spider-Man get to use? It's really hard saying. My guess is that in Peter's skill tree, there's gonna be a section for the Iron Spider suit and different upgrades for that. And then for Miles, there is the Venom upgrades that now features a blue color rather than a yellow, which my theory for that is he likely absorbed a bunch of the new form that changed the color of his Venom. But yeah, guys, that's gonna wrap it up with this video. Let me know what your thoughts are in the comment section. Were you able to get a collector's edition, or are you stuck with having to wait for a reseller so you can get the collector's edition? Also, guys, we're getting really close to 120,000 subscribers. We're only 1,000 away, so definitely subscribe to the channel if you'd like to win a PS5. I've got all of the details in the pinned comment as always. And until next time, this has been Wes, and I'll talk to you guys again soon.